important thing is that, which Mendel observed after the experiment, is that, see, in the F1 generation, capital T and small t, these two factors are together, right? But they do not show any mixing or blending. Why? Because in the F2 generation, the tall and dwarf plants that were formed, they had this equal, height, just like the parent. If the tall plant here was say 7 feet and the dwarf plant here was 1 feet, in this generation also, the height for this tall plant was 7 feet and 1 feet respectively. If these two factors would show any kind of mixing or blending, do you think the dwarf plant will have 1 feet height? No, right? It will have something, a particular height which is in between 7 feet and 1 feet, something in between. It will never have the original height of the parent. This also shows an important thing, that the factors, even when they remain together in pair, they would behave as individual entities. They would never show any mixing or blending. Understood this? Fine. So factors, they will remain as individual entities. They will not show any mixing or blending. And whenever meiosis will take place, the pairing of the factors will be lost. They will remain in pair, but during meiosis, their pairing will be lost and they will be separated. So that after separation, there is 50% chance of every factor to fuse with other. Okay? There is 50% chance that the capital T will fuse with another capital T and equal chance that it might fuse with a small t. Okay? Understood? So I'll give you a quick review about the whole thing. So Mendel took a pure line tall and a pure line dwarf plant and called it the parental generation and made them undergo crossed by artificial hybridization. The progeny that were obtained were known as first filial generation or F1 generation, in which all the progeny were tall. Okay? And finally, when these tall plants were allowed to undergo selfing, F2 generation was obtained, where the tall and dwarf characteristics were again expressed in the ratio of 3:1. Okay? Now, what Mendel drew the conclusion out of this results was that he suggested that something stably is being passed on from the parent to the offspring, and he called these stable substances to be factors. And factors always remain in pair. In the pure line parents, the factors, if I take to be capital T, the dwarf will be small t. When these two parents were crossed, F1 progeny were obtained, which will have the particular genotype to be capital T and small t. Okay? So we see that when an individual have two similar factors, we call it a homozygous, whereas two dissimilar factors, we call it heterozygous. Understood this? Fine. Appearance wise, this plant is also tall, this plant is also tall. But genetic makeup wise, they are different. So this is the genotype, whereas the observable character is the phenotype. Understood? These are important terminologies that you need to remember. Now, when the F1 progeny was selfed, we get to know that, see, whenever the meiosis will take place for gamete formation, the pairing of the factors will be lost and they will be separated. Once separated, there is 50% chance that one of the factor will fuse or one of the gamete will fuse with the other. Fine? Because gametic fusion is a random event. So after this random event takes place, this is the ratio of the offsprings obtained. Homozygous tall 1, heterozygous tall 2 and homozygous recessive 1. So after the F2 generation is obtained, we see that we get the result of the experiment to be genotypic ratio 1:2:1, phenotypic ratio 3:1. Alright, this is all about the experiment. Fine. Now this is all about what I have already stated. So let me read it out once for you so that it becomes more clear. Concept of factors. Based on this observation, Mendel proposed that something was being stably passed down unchanged from parents to the offsprings through gametes over successive generations. He called these things to be factors. and we now call them to be genes. Of course, we now call the factors to be genes. Okay, otherwise everything remains the same. Therefore, a gene is defined as the functional unit of inheritance. They contain the information that is required to express a particular trait, and chemically, gene or a factor is nothing but a segment of DNA that has particular function, the common being synthesis of protein. Okay, a segment of DNA. Gene is nothing but a factor is nothing but a segment of DNA which codes for a protein. Now, genes which codes for a pair of contrasting traits are known as alleles. So, capital T and small t, these are two dissimilar alleles for the same gene. Okay, the gene which controls height, for it these are the two contrasting forms. So, we call them to be alleles. They are slightly different forms of the same gene. Alright. Now, important terminology. Homozygous and heterozygous, you very well know now. Mendel proposed that in a true breeding tall or dwarf P variety, the allelic pair of genes are identical, capital T and small t respectively, just like in this parental generation. This condition is termed as homozygous, and the term was given by Bettison and Saunders. An individual with two different alleles like this in F1 progeny, we will call it to be heterozygous. Next is genotype and phenotype. The genetic makeup of an individual is called the genotype, like capital T, small t. These are the genotypes. But phenotype is the morphological observable appearance of a particular individual. For example, tallness or dwarfness. Dominant and recessive. When two dissimilar factors are present in a single individual, only one is able to express and the other not able to express itself. So the one that expresses itself is dominant and the other one is of course the recessive. Understood this part? So this is very, very important and I hope all of you are clear about it. Next, let us discuss Punnett square.